Botswana has gone wild.
Pedals4paws is an initiative to raise the profile of highly endangered African painted dogs, African wild dogs, and to raise money for the conservation of this really beautiful and endangered species.
It's WACA for Wildlife Day, the Botswana Predator Conservation Trust's annual Coaching for Conservation event.
Coaching for conservation is the social side of conservation. So we all know that science alone can't actually make change. Science can ask the questions and answer the questions, but conservation is about people. And so the first thing we need to tackle is to get kids to be committed to having a future. And so that's about respect for self, that's about respect for others, that's about the real fundamental core values of respecting self, others, and then eventually the environment.
Using football and wild animal characteristics, the kids learn their lessons.
What is your favorite animal?
Lion. It's too fast. But it hunts.
Okay.
For the children, if it's a female,
it hunts for its cubs.
Yes, its cubs.
With Painted Wolf Wines being a sponsor of the Botswana Predator Conservation Trust's work, it was decided to start this leg of Pedals4paws here.
We're starting out here in Maun, and we're riding our bicycles to Hwangi in Zimbabwe. It's a ride of roughly 800 kilometers.
The ride will take the cyclists through some of the most important wild dog conservation areas in southern Africa, from Moremi Game Reserve in Botswana through the Caprivi Strip in Namibia to Hwangi in Zimbabwe.
For these great people who are doing a cycling trip called Pedals4paws, I would like us all to do the dog.
I am going to be riding 5,000 kilometers on my bicycle over 2 years. I don't know whether you folks know, but there are basically approximately 5,000 wild dogs left in the whole of Africa, of which Botswana has one of the best populations. You're very fortunate. You must look after these beautiful creatures, please. So, Kiare Bocha, Tsala Simple, goodbye, thank you.
From Maun, the team headed for the Namibian border. Here, the long ride took them through the Caprivi Strip, where they had to be on the lookout for elephants. Along the way, motorists are reminded of the wild dog conservation work taking place in the area. Overnight stop on day 2 was Camp Kondo with its beautiful riverside chalets.
There's a lot of bush here in Caprivi, but just at the end of it.
Guests were treated to a wine tasting, a talk about wild dogs and the crisis they are facing.
Joby and near Ngoma Gate, it's full of people, and every single one of those people is a problem for elephants.
What are you doing?
Besiegt.
Day 3 dawns and it looks like it'll be a scorcher.
The plan for today is to ride approximately 100 kilometers or just over 100 kilometers, and we'll finish up at Ngoma Gate, which is on the boundary of Botswana. And it's looking mighty hot today, so I think we'll be sweating. We'll be putting in paint for the painted dogs today.
The team now also need to contend with thick sand. This is rural Africa at its best. Even so, it seems karate movies have made it here. With temperatures reaching into the 40s, the team takes to the cars.
It's to continue on our ride today. We're going to ride as far as the town of Katima Mulima. We just actually stopped. We had a bit of lunch and we rode in the car for 45 minutes just in the heat of the day. It's actually quite hot right now. So we'll pick up on the ride and we'll probably end up doing about 105 or 110 k's by the time we get done today.
We did it in like, right, Nikki, white or other bread?
Night 3 is intense at Camp Chobe on the border of Namibia and Botswana. Tomorrow will be time off. The Chobe River separating the two countries teems with wildlife as it flows through the national park. This is a bird lover's paradise. Dawn, day 4 on the banks of the Chobe. The team must cross 2 borders and traverse the Chobe National Park before the next ride in Zimbabwe.
We have to drive across Chobe National Park because it's the national park and it's a little liony over there and they don't encourage you to ride your bicycles. And once we get to Kasane, which is about 99 kilometers, 100 kilometers from here, we will then ride through to Vic Falls, which is about another sort of 75 to 80 k's.
The short drive through the national park via Kasane set the stage for the next ride into Victoria Falls. One of the natural wonders of the world, the falls look magnificent with the Zambezi's midwinter flow. At the Victoria Falls Safari Lodge, Zimbabwe's wine importers and tour operators were treated to a tasting and an exposition of the Pedals4paws program. Day 6 and the longest stretch of all, 130 kilometers from Victoria Falls to Wangi Game Reserve.
I understand there's a big herd of buffalo about 40 k's up the road, so I shall be on the lookout. And we've had reports of elephants along the road recently too, so it should be fun today. It should be a good one.
Yeah, test. You know? I know it, yeah. No, it's good for porridge, yogurt. Excellent.
So tired.
A visit to the excellent educational facility at the Wild Dog Conservation Project in Wangi was the highlight.
Animals which are in the game park. For example, this is the actual life size of an eland here. But unfortunately,
Painted Wolf Wines' sponsorship for the centre is channeled through Tusk in the UK.
So that's a baby giraffe.
Anything to do with any dog that needs a home, temporarily or long term, comes here. However, the policy...
Founder and chief scientist at the centre, Dr. Greg Rasmussen, gave a rundown of the challenges.
Processed by some stomach enzymes?
Not muscles, they've got stomach musculature. The painted dog is slightly different, which enables them to deliver the meat like as a true regurgitator. My
long-term vision for Pedals4paws is to develop a program which through the use of bicycles and bicycle racing, bicycle touring, raises money for this type of conservation. Secondly, the use of bicycles, taking bicycles into rural communities and creating opportunities to engage with rural children about poaching.
The Inyangana Art Centre is an offshoot of the Wild Dog Project that uses wire from snares collected in the national park for works of art.
The short gospel there is Using the same wire you can use to snare and kill all the animals in the bush, you can still use your own hands to produce something which can earn you a better living.
For close-up viewing of Wangi's elephants, nowhere beats Ivory Lodge. Guests can sit within a few meters of the wild herds. Big City Bulawayo and the last day of the ride. The team join hundreds of other cyclists for the Tour de Falcon, a race from the city centre to the remote school situated in its own game reserve 56 kilometres from the city. All ages are participating. The Pedals4paws team have chosen to do the off-road route, which will take them through unmarked and unknown territory.
How's it going, Jim? It's going great. This is magnificent countryside. Beautiful. According to the 1972 Rhodesian Ordnance Survey map, we have to cross the railway line that was built during the colonial era.
Somewhere here now. So it's probably about 4 km to the railway line. This is 30 years old. Just not very reliable.
Although I suspect nothing has massive happened to the roads in 30 years.
Yeah, there's just less roads.
Yeah, exactly.
At long last, the end.
Check the middle out. Sorry,
It has a doggy on the back, Dad.
Yeah. Yeah, isn't that lovely?
Nice.
Yeah.
How was the race?
Oh, it was beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. Yeah.
From a tumble on the very last corner, Nicola has battle scars to take home for her efforts. As an old boy from Falcon College, Jeremy was guest of honour to hand out the prizes.
September, last November actually, where we were able to raise $18,000 for painted dog conservation in the country, which was really a magic thing to do.
The next leg of the journey will take place from the Kruger National Park and Shishlui Game Reserve in South Africa. So far, the Pedals4paws tour has raised almost 50,000 rands for wild dog conservation.